for being ono he kore e ngana ai tata ping aki pato rostine e tatu astu no mai to kuruai aho ki me mata kuruai he kawai ka papa kai mo yam mata e pai no moto mata e mani o tira ko rato kei mo yamata to ti nei re tatu o ina mata tono nei ka ko mai ki ha ko ti ka papa kai mo mata e no to ni mata zo ya ko me to mo ai ka ake amen
Kia ora. Well, before we get stuck into apologies and I get to chair, I thought we'd start with very quick, because I was late, whakawhanaungatanga ne. So I'll start with myself. Ko e ko senga tiore mi kaere taku ingoa, te mana hautu o Nehenehenui. Iuri o ki Ngāti Pukenga, Ngāti Paru, Ngāti Kahungunu. Rau ko Waikato Tainui, tēnei tuhi ki a koutou i te rangatira, te Waitomo, te Waikato, me Waipa Hoki. So kia ora, ka go to the right. We'll just go around quickly and introduce yourselves so we can just cover this part off before we get stuck into the
Pamela Story, Chair of the Waikato Regional Council and alternate on this committee.
Kia ora koutou, Stu Kneebone. I'm a farmer from Cambridge and I'm one of two councillors for the Regional Council for the Waipa Country constituency.
Kia ora koutou, I'm Gabriel Morgan Logan, he kanohi o the Nehenehenui Trust. Also representative of Te Whare o Waiwaia, RMC.
Tēnā koutou, Tremaine Murray tōku ingoa, no Piopio Ahau. My role at Te Nehenehenui is Pautai Manager. Kia ora. Kia koe wikitoria. How about now? Ka pai tēnā koutou, Wikitoria Tāne, ko te tehi o ngā trustees on Te Nehenehenui. So I'm one of the trustees on on Te Nehenehenui, and I am Ngāti Mani Poto, Urunumia, Uakaha, Apakura, and probably some other things as well. Yeah, tēnā tātou katoa.
Kia ora, ko Danielle Marks o Tuingoa, he kai whakarite au Kaunihira Arohia o Waikato. Kia ora, I'm Danielle, I'm the kai whakarite treaty settlements at Waikato Regional Council.
Kia ora, I'm James Winston, the Democracy Advisor for Waikato Regional Council for this committee.
Kia ora koutou, ko John Robertson ahau no Piupiu taku tainga. I'm the mayor of Waitomo, and I've got to say it's an honour to be sitting in this room with ancestors around looking on at this special time after the weekend with the apology and the settlement, and then the Ngāti Wolf's 150th anniversary. So, kia ora.
Hello everyone, John Kati, the Commonwealth. I live on the southern shores of the Karakia Harbour, and I've been around the step for a long time.
Kia ora koutou, ko Jamie Tamaki tēnei, Councillor at Otorohanga District Council. Me.
Kia ora tātou, hiuri ahau o Ngāti Apakura, Ngāti Kairo, o te rā o Waikato Maniapoto, ko Glenn Tutu tōku ingoa, part of the team at Nehenehenui, sitting with the relationship. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora, ko Mali Ahipini ahau, Pautu Hono Waikato Regional Council. He uri o Ngāti tūpare toa, kahanganui, Ngāti Te Awa. Nei te me, tēnā koutou katoa.
Microphone. Tēnā tātou te whānau, ko Cassidy te misi tōku ingoa, hiuri ahau no Maniapoto, Waikato me ngā whuru.
Kia ko Ben Smith tōku whenua, ko Ngāti Hawa te iwi, ko te Waihawa te awa, ko te arawa. Chief Executive, Waitomo District. Good a tātou, Naklaya Ho, Chief Executive, Waikato Regional Council.
Oh, well, kia ora whānau. Now that we've done the whanaungatanga, we should probably have a kai. I'm just kidding. Been there already. But it does raise the intriguing prospects of a hui such as today, where we can come together and work together in a collaborative, joint manner. And part of that means we look forward to introducing our tikanga and our kaupapa, our whakaaro, our mātauranga, tēnei tēpū, ne? Kia ora tātou. So drawing the short straw apparently between my two peers over here, looks like we're going to, there's a report on the Nehenehenui Joint Committee. Before we kick off to that though, we'll just see if there are any apologies that were noted. Did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to make sure you covers that part.
Yeah.
Katrina, question from Lobo.
Yes. Eddie Manawaiti from Waitomo.
So I have apologies from our CEO for Torohanga District Council, Tanya Winter.
Ia winter, Torohanga.
We only need apologies from members.
Oh,
Can you note it anyway? Okay. Look, there's no apologies. We'll just get a confirmation of the agenda. And not actually sure what that means, to be fair, other than the fact that.
Anything else, really?
Anyone else want to add anything to it?
Just checking, there's an item that was circulated this morning, I think. Is that on the agenda?
It's
It's on the agenda already.
Said that one again.
Really?
Yep. No other items for the agenda? This is an interesting one for disclosures of interest. Members are reminded of the need to be aware of maintaining a clear separation between personal interests and duties and their roles as elected members appointed to this committee. If members has an interest that creates an actual proceed to create a conflict in relation to any item on the agenda, it's recommended that disclosure of interest required out there.
Need a first seconder for confirmation of agenda and then as well.
I'm up, you got me. Good tapping, mate. Okay. We've got one from Stuart Kneebone to move.
Okay.
And Michael Robinson, Nee Robinson is thrown in there.
And then put it to a vote.
All in favour?
Oh, very formal. All those in favour? Oh, that's why I'm not chairing for long, so let's get this.
Any opposed?
Any opposed? And any in the middle? Carried.
don't worry, our CEO had the same problems.
Yeah, sorry, just noting,
Like we introduced to the no vote.
Question online, check.
just noting that on the, in the agenda items there, it doesn't actually, I think, mention election of chair and that sort of thing in the agenda, and I'm just wanting to make sure that that is covered.
Agenda is very limited. Yeah. So it's under the staff recommendations and the report to Nehenehenui Joint Committee from the 28th of November. Yeah.
It's the item we're coming up to.
Okay. Back on track then, Nehenehenui Joint Committee Constitution Membership and Procedures. Purpose is to deal with the procedural matters relevant to operation of the Nehenehenui Joint Committee. What's that?
No, you can talk.
Oh, thank goodness, Marley's going to talk to him.
Yeah.
Happy to do that through you, Chair, and you're doing a great job, by the way. I'll cover it off really quickly. I'll take it as read. Everybody's had it. The report itself is pretty straightforward. It just seeks to address some procedural matters before we get into the more substantive purpose for the meeting about the May development, which will come next. Just some key things, I guess, to point out just to be helpful in terms of the process. What we are asking you to do, or the decisions we are asking you to make, first up is one, to receive a report. That's pretty straightforward. Two, to note the terms of reference and also the standing orders, which essentially are the rules for the process. We'll be familiar with that. And just noting that your individual organisations have already gone through a process of formalising these things. So we're just wanting to, this group here to note. And then we will get into the important job of noting the membership here and then selecting your co-chairs and deputy co-chairs. Just lastly, there's also a recommendation in the report. We're asking for you to note that Waikato Regional Council will provide you, the Joint Committee, with administrative support. So that is James, who is helping out with running the meeting today, also Danielle and myself to support the Joint Committee in your work. So those are the key decisions for this report, and probably useful to step through each of them one at a time. For you, Chair, does that sound?
Okay.
So before we do though, any questions?
We're a new committee, have we not? We have different responsibilities. Is that the order of things? Different responsibilities? In terms of our agenda, does the chairs sign off the agenda?
The process that we follow at the Regional Council, and each council will have a different way that they go about approaching agenda confirmation, is that yes, we do engage with and consult with the chairs. And provided everybody at this table is happy with that process, that's what we would do. Currently, we don't have any co-chairs in place. And so we have, I guess, produced the reports and the agenda based on conversations that we've had across the organisations at a staff level. But going forward, once we have co-chairs in place, then our co-chairs will be involved in that process.
Kia ora, it's Victoria. I'm just checking. So when do you expect that to happen? Because I would have thought that would have happened immediately today in terms of election of chair, of co-chair for this hui. That's a genuine pātai.
Kia ora, Victoria. We're about to undertake the process of selecting the co-chairs and the deputy co-chairs. Just on that topic, Nehenehenui, the members from Nehenehenui will appoint their co-chair and their deputy co-chair, and then the councils collectively will appoint their co-chair and deputy co-chair. So if there's no more questions, then we could get into the process of selecting co-chairs and deputy co-chairs.
Yeah, I guess I want to just note for the table that actually would have been preferable to have all of this discussion with council staff before actually getting to this point, even in terms of the agenda, the makeup of the agenda. Now, I don't know if that happened. I don't believe it's happened with the trustees. So yeah, just thinking about our processes, really about this being a situation, and wanting to note that upfront. Ka pai.
So just through the chair, so staff from Te Nehenehenui have met with the regional council staff in preparation for today. I think what Marley's saying though is that going forward, that'll be the responsibility of the co-chair. That's once we've done that process.
Ka pai.
Chair, can I just raise a question in terms of the way decisions are will be made in this? So this paper says in point number 5, decisions of the committee made by consensus. Happy with that. But then on point number 8, it talks about standing orders of regional council, and I suspect that the regional council standing orders provide for votes to take place in majority. So I'm just really raising that as it just seems something that we need to be sure which way we're going on, because the conflict.
That's a really good question, and I'm happy to answer it.
Copy of the standing orders.
I don't on me, but just before I get to your partai about standing orders, in addressing Mayor Robertson's question, in the terms of reference that are set out in your agenda on page 4, at clause 8, it is very clear that the standing orders apply except where conflict arises between the treaty settlement and terms of reference. So treaty settlement trumps everything, terms of reference, and then standing orders.
Yes, the question then is, I think it's probably important just to, I'm happy for this to come back at another meeting, but I don't think the legislation, well, I'm not, by reading of the legislation, I'm not sure that it resolves that. I don't know that it says decisions of this committee will be made by consensus or so.
The treaty settlement is silent on that matter, but your terms of reference are clear that it is consensus decision making, and so that's what you would rely on, consensus decision making for the joint committee. Yeah. Standing orders, I realise they're not actually in the agenda, and so what we will do, James, is send out the standing orders to the committee members so that they've got a copy of that document. The standing orders are really straightforward. It really sets out, I guess, just good meeting process. We don't need to worry about standing orders, and we don't rely on standing orders because generally meetings are pretty informal rather than really strict in terms of rules. So we'll take an action to get those standing orders out to you as soon as possible.
Any
other partai before we move forward? Oh, right. Did you want to read it and then I'll?
Sure.
How would you like to go about this, things you guys have?
I propose through you, Chair, that we deal with appointing our co-chairs and deputy co-chairs, and then you're off the hook
Mhm.
and we can hand over the responsibility to the co-chairs. How about that?
Okay.
Halfway? Okay. Starting then with the co-chair for Nehenehenui to represent Te Nehenehenui. Sorry, James is indicating.
Want to move these first?
No, we'll get that. We'll do the co-chairs first. Thank you, James. So I'd ask then for Te Nehenehenui to put forward their co-chairperson.
Well, I'll move with Victoria Tane. Be one of the co-chairs.
Second it.
Victoria, you've been nominated as the co-chair for the joint committee. Happy to accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept, thanks.
Thank
She's
you.
very excited.
Right, we'll put that up on the screen so we make sure that we are recording that. Thank you, James. And so on your screen, you'll see the resolution is that Te Nehenehenui Joint Committee notes and appoints Trustee Victoria Tane as deputy, co-chair. Yep.
As co-chair.
Yes, as co-chair. We've got a mover and we've got a seconder. All those for, aye, say aye.
We will vote on that one?
Yes, yes, yep. And those against? Carried. Congratulations, Trustee Tane, our first co-chair.
No, it's not in the right place. Needs to go back. Victoria is chair, not a deputy. Just need to cut out one of the three members. Victoria there, my humble opinion.
The X. Top. Favorite.
Yeah.
I'd love to type in front of 20 people.
No pressure. Well, now that we have a co-chair in place, Trustee Tane, you could probably take on the role for the rest of the meeting, and we'll next address the appointment of the co-chair for the council. Is that
Yeah, can I just ask a question
Yes.
around the deputy co-chair for, I just want some clarification in terms of that wording. Do we have a co-chair from Te Nehenehenui and a deputy co-chair from Te Nehenehenui?
yes, so we still need to
So
undertake
we
that
need to
process.
resolve that. Yes, couple.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Through you, Chair, our co-chair, would you like to do the deputy chair for Te Nehenehenui next, or would you like to move on to the co-chair for the councillors? Which order would you like to move in?
Well, I feel like it's tidier because we're looking at the document now. If we work through the deputy co-chair for Te Nehenehenui and then move on to council, everyone's happy with that? Kapai?
Would you like me to call for nominations?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Okay. And so calling for nominations for deputy co-chair on behalf of Te Nehenehenui. Any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Gabriel Hogan.
And I'd like to second that.
Thank you. We have a nomination for, and we'll just pop it up on the screen. Might need. Trustee Morgan Logan. Any other nominations? No, there being none, let's put that to the vote. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those against, carried. Congratulations. Deputy.
Can I just clarify that process, Marlene?
Yes.
So in terms of those nominations for the Nehenehenui reps for the accepting of the approval, was that for all of the joint committee to agree to, or was it just for Te Nehenehenui? I'm just clarifying process.
Yes, it is Te Nehenehenui's decision to make.
Ka pai.
And same with the council appointments. So now we'll get into putting forward nominations for the co-chair for the councils. And so let's call for nominations from the councils for that position. Any nominations?
So I'll nominate Stuart Kneebone for co-chair.
Do we have a seconder?
I second it.
Any other nominations? There being none, we'll put to the vote that Stu Kneebone is appointed as the co-chair on behalf of the councils of the Joint Committee. All those in favour? Those against? Carried. Congratulations, Kneebone. And then just lastly, the appointment of the deputy co-chair for councils. Stu, do you have a nomination?
Yeah, could I nominate Jamie Tamaki, please?
Kia ora. Can I have a seconder?
There.
Good. All those in favour?
All right.
Carried. Mihi. Okay, so that important task is now complete. I'd suggest, unless there are any concerns or questions about the other recommendations in the report, that we put them all to the vote and get them dealt with in one decision, unless there's any concerns about what's in the report, and then we can move on to the more important, I guess, purpose of the meeting, and that it's being about the development of the joint management. Does that sound okay to the co-chairs?
Right.
Just a question in terms of this terms of reference. We're not expecting to agree to this at this meeting, are we? Or are we?
Yes.
And the reason there's a reason I'm asking that question is that I know that this is a reasonably late paper, and those who are not, those are the councillors who haven't been able to attend here, that might be an issue for them. I don't know. I mean, I'd be guided by you. I wondered if it makes sense to set that aside for the time being. If you think it doesn't, then please let me know, but I'm just wary. I'm just mindful that some of them will not have seen, those who are not here will not have seen this paper.
You're referring to your fellow trust board members that aren't here?
No, I'm referring to everybody who's not here.
All members are present.
Yeah.
All members are present.
Oh, are they? I thought we had some apologies.
Oh.
Oh, maybe I can't see them. Yeah, sorry. I thought because I can't see who else is in that picture. Councillor Christensen, I can't see.
Alternate. Yeah, there's an alternate.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay. And so then, through the co-chairs, I'm recommending that the remaining recommendations within the report are passed by the joint committee, and then we can move on to the next item.
It's 2, 3, 4 and 7.
1,
I thought we did 1.
2, 3, 4, and 7.
We did 1 at the beginning, didn't we? Oh, okay, that's right. Oh.
Do you want to run this, Victoria, or do you want me to?
So we're looking at those staff recommendations from the beginning to number 7, all of them?
All of them are number 5 and 6 that we've already done.
All right. Can I just give that to you, Stu, because I haven't chaired one of these meetings before in terms of those recommendations. I'm assuming that you will just ask for a show of hands or whatever the process is in terms of each of those recommendations, correct?
Yeah, yep. So look, I'll ask for a mover for those recommendations, please. Well, I'm happy to move from as a co-chair and just need a seconder.
And I'm happy to second.
Victoria, second. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Yes, I'll declare those carried. Now where are we off to?
Through the co-chairs, the next item is from Te Nehenehenui, and it is on the development of the joint management agreement.
That's the paper that we got. So
That's right.
we're handing over to. Yeah. Understand?
Because we haven't probably given a standard amount of time to review, I'll just read through it. Go over. Go fine.
Yeah.
Papers to provide a background information on the requirement under the Maniapoto Claims Settlement Act for Te Nehenehenui, Waitomo District Council, Otorohanga District Council, and the Waikato Regional Council, the parties, to enter into a joint management agreement. This paper sets out high-level aspirations of Maniapoto and the intention to begin the work of the new JMA. The new JMA is for Ngā Waio Maniapoto in the Waikato region, apart from the Waipa River and its catchments for which it previously. It covers Area M, which is attached in the map, and must be enforced no later than 12 months after the commencement of the Act, unless the parties agree in writing to extend that period. The existing JMA entered into as a requirement of Ngā Waio Maniapoto, the Waipa River Settlement Act of 2012. Existing JMA includes the parties as well as the Waipa District Council, the Waikato District Council. The existing JMA is due for review. The environmental aspirations of Maniapoto are that the resource users and decision makers will collaborate with the people of Maniapoto to ensure that any adverse effects on Maniapoto or the environment arising from the resource use are appropriately avoided or mitigated to the extent agreed by Maniapoto, the users and the decision makers. That Maniapoto and the Crown and Maniapoto local authorities will develop and strengthen two-way building of capacity and capability in reviewing, regulating and managing activities that have an impact on Ngā Waio Maniapoto so far as they promote the vision of Maniapoto. That Maniapoto prospectus and the strategic documents of Maniapoto, such as the environmental plan and any that may be developed and implemented in the future for the Maniapoto Rohe, will be appropriately recognised and incorporated into the functions and decisions of the public agencies. That Maniapoto will work with local authorities to co-design and co-govern programs for developing appropriate data research services and Maniapoto data capability, and designing programs and supporting investments in innovation and research to improve the skills and provide for a process designed by Maniapoto to deliver positive outcomes for Maniapoto, and establishing monitoring and accountability methods for measuring equitable outcomes for Maniapoto and assessing progress towards those outcomes. Given the existing JMA is due for review, and in order that the coordinated approach is taken to achieve efficiency, effectiveness, consistency, and integrated management of Ngā Waio Maniapoto, it's recommended that the parties of the new JMA, being Te Nehenehenui, Waitomo District Council, Otorohanga District Council, and the Waikato Regional Council, extend an invitation to Waipa District Council and Waikato District Council to participate in the development of the new JMA. It is envisioned this will replace and supersede the requirement to review the existing JMA. Nehenehenui looks forward to the progressive and collaborative relationships with councils underpinned by our principles set out in the Maniapoto Claims Settlement Act 2022. Effectively, we're put in there our aspirations, so there's an understanding of what our hope and intention is for JMA, and secondly, the incorporation of the two other entities into these JMA processes. So if their needs are needed or if their requirements are needed, then they are met here in this JMA in a singular context.
So the invitation to invite Waipā and Waikato districts to participate, would that at what point would you see us exercising that process? It makes logical sense to me.
It was always our view that the sooner the better.
Yeah.
So we don't go so far down that then it becomes they're signing on to something they haven't co-authored.
Right. Yeah.
That's our view on that.
Yeah, I think we would of a simple build. It makes logical sense.
There is a matter of the area that has already been had, which is the area C, which has really got management protocols around it. What's your view on that?
Myself, so C is the blue area, isn't it? That's effectively the area of the 35 month, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
I suppose as long as we can, I guess we just need to be cognizant of the need to work alongside the two different statutory obligations, but that would seem like something that would be easy enough to look through to me.
Suggesting we have different meetings for different areas?
Absolutely not. No, I've got enough different meetings to go to.
Well, I think originally when that area was set aside as a management area, JMA, that was Ngāwai o Manipur was actually included all of the Manipur, but the Crown felt that that we should just focus on that one there, and then at some months when the comprehensive settlement was completed, consider when you but I think it could still work. Well, I think we need to cut costs instead of having two meetings to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, to do that, what do we get a motion by resolution or?
We have to put a recommendation into that other committee?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, with the now inclusion of Area M, because it essentially will sit alongside Area C, won't it? Mm. It sits alongside Area C, and while they both fall out of two separate pieces of legislation, one being Ngāwai o Waipā, 2012, or Maniapoto Waipā River Act, and the other one being the Maniapoto Settlements Act. I don't think it, the expectations I would imagine are the same for both of those pieces of legislation in terms of these areas. That's correct, isn't it? It's just a broader space, a broader.
The outcomes will definitely be the same.
Sorry?
The outcomes will definitely be the same.
Could I suggest that we request our staff to produce a report that identify the opportunities, the issues that progress the
Yes, Stu, can I ask that if that happens, then it works, then they work together with Tremaine and her team, and with,
When I said staff, I was thinking staff of both organisations.
right, ka pai.
Absolutely.
Feedback from the consent.
Absolutely, yes. Happy to do a further report to the joint committee when you meet next. And I guess if I might just have the opportunity to say that what is being proposed, is possible as far as I can tell. It's not impossible to bring together the two different pieces of legislation under a joint management agreement. Just needs a bit of process wrapped around it and conversations with the right parties. Because of course we're looking at, as the report says, include Waikato District and Waipa who aren't in the room currently. So just while we're on that particular kaupapa, Te Nehenehenui have a joint committee with the three councils that are in this joint committee meeting and Waikato and Waipa councils, and so it might be efficient to have conversations in that grouping. And you'll have a meeting scheduled at some stage early next week. Sorry, next year. I'm getting ahead. I'm forgetting we're at the end of the year already. And so perhaps that's the next opportunity to talk about this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should try and preempt what the outcome of that will be, but sort of things you're going to uncover when you start looking at our call. Yeah.
If it is still split through the chair, I mean, as part of the negotiations, the whole point was to extend the arrangements in Area C across Area M. And you're welcome to go away and have that separate hui with the additional two. I think what we're trying to circumvent here is to avoid even having a separate meeting. You just extend the invitation to Waipa and Waikato now, so that you have your first meeting in the new year, it's with everyone in the room. And I think in particular, given Te Nehenehenui is sort of the key one in both, it's trying to avoid for our trustees having to have multiple authorities. And if get everyone to the one hui, it just makes a bit more sense. And the opportunity is obviously afforded by the existing JMA being due for review. So it just made sense to us rather than reviewing that one while simultaneously with every other party except two doing the whole new one. You have the one hui, agree going forward that you'll basically deal with the new JMA to fold in the existing.
Yeah, thank you for that, Glenn. Yes, we did defer reviewing the current JMA because we were going through this process of settlement pending us getting ourselves sorted for next year. That's correct, Tremaine?
Aye.
So I mean, I completely agree with that if the invitation goes out to the other, are we talking just the two councils, Waikato District and Waipa? We're just talking about those two councils?
Yeah.
It seems to me it would be logical to have some informal discussions, both government to government and staff to staff, prior to that meeting as well. So we've all got a bit of an idea on what page we're all on.
Can't wait.
Between the groups.
Yeah.
Well, I think it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And if we had to do that, things let's do. But yeah, but I thought a letter may have been appropriate to do that. Like now, I could see the value in it.
Yeah. So, do you guys need any formal direction from us or present committee, or are you happy to proceed in that with you to us all getting around the table next year?
I think at the very least, if maybe as an action point from this meeting, pre-Christmas, reach out to Waikato District and Waipa, just to give heads up whether we can. I don't know if we can meet with them before Christmas, but at least on a staff level, meet with them in the new year.
I'm happy to support that if our staff have capacity to do it.
We don't do it by resolution.
Well, I'm not hearing the need to, you guys.
If you guys have a consensus.
Consensus decision.
Yeah. So we're going to note that, are we, Stu, we're going to note that in the minutes?
Yeah, that'll be covered off in the minutes.
Okay. And as an action point, Kapai.
And the minutes will get circulated amongst all of everyone sometime next week, so we can close that off in a week. Oh, no pressure.
We didn't actually check if that was okay with everybody, did we? Is there anyone opposed to that approach? Carl? Okay, haere tonu. What's next on our agenda?
That's the end of our agenda. I think that's the end of our agenda, Victoria.
That's definitely the end of our agenda.
Right.
I just want to mention something, if it's okay. If I just want to congratulate you, Jamie. This is the first of your the hui around this table as a councillor and as a representative on one of our Māori wards on Rangiatea. And I just want to congratulate you first on your success in becoming a councillor, and secondly, no mai haere mai wanga i a tātou I roto I ēnei kaupapa whakahararo mō o tātou iwi. Tēnā koe. Okay, mā wai tō tātou Karakia Whakamutunga. Mā Uncle John, Uncle Reihana?
Kia ora tātou. Been a good hui, I thought. Good job, sharp. Making tracks. So I think it's a start, and I do believe that going back in the history of people when something like 40 years before where we didn't allow anybody to consider it. I still don't actually couldn't find anything that allowed anybody to come into the field. But it just happened. So, and I'm talking about one leg of me, and the other leg is on the other side. I think we're all probably the same, well, most of us, anyway, all got that feeling. So and it's enjoyable knowing that there's I suppose breaking the mold, I might say. Although I've been on council for a number of years, but it is good to see brown faces on the other side. And so anyway, me, te kaha tātou. Job. Nera, suppose our link to that. Thank you. Ipa, when you're on mātou, kuhunei, kia koe mo tō tainga mai, no mai, tō hā, ki nui a mātuka. Hei ki mana mai e koe, ke pai ai te haere, ki ora tunu ai te ngākau o mātou, e ki minei te huarahi. Kia o mō tō mātou e via mani. Reira e pā, wini rā mātou e nui nei kia koe. Kena o tunu mate rari awe me te tama ai raki. Ake.
Ka pai, thank you everyone, congratulations Stu.
Bye, have a good Christmas. I'll see you on
Have a good flight.
See you soon on Friday.
That's yours or is that mine?
Declare the meeting.
Oh, I'll declare the meeting closed.
Good.
Don't miss your plane home. Like some people.
Yeah, no.